It is the springtime of my love, the second season I am to know. You are the sunlight in my growing, so little warmth I've felt before. It isn't hard to feel me glowing. I watched the fire that grew so low. the wind, their eyes fall. This is the wonder of devotion. I see the torch we all must hold. This is the mystery of the kosher. like a star that can't wait for a night. I hate to think I've been blinded, baby. What can I see tonight? And the warmth of your smile starts burning, and the thrill of your touch gives me fright. And I'm shaking so much, really. Why don't you show up and make it alright? Yeah, it's alright.
Just a fool waiting on the wrong block. Really, that song really resonates with me. Don't we all feel like that sometime? What's up, Rec Talk?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing freaking awesome. Freaking stoked to be here. Talking about my jackets. And getting stoked for the season. Yeah,
I
come
heard
on.
that I love the title. So close.
We can
can
sniff
smell
it. Although that might be the seafood Mardi Gras that we're sniffing, but I'm not sure.
I have eaten Marietta Diner lately, but I did not get the seafood Mardi Gras because it's like $80. So I had to save some money.
Yeah.
If
Well, that's
you know, you
excellent.
know.
That's excellent. Let's go through the comment section really quick before we get started. First of all, I see my man Rec talking here. First of all, and we got Mike Doug, who is like number one, but not. We got Colby, who's already dipped out. Good to see you, Colby. One of the coolest Georgia fans. Might be the coolest Georgia fan
I'd say
ever. CJ, Ballard Sports Media. David. Let's see. PDC Tech 91. What's a good word? To hell with Georgia. To hell with Georgia. That's the answer to that question. Tiger Cat. I4UY1126. That sounds like a strong password.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a green under your password when you type that.
That sounds like a strong password.
Semicolon / minus sign.
It contains a special character and an uppercase and a lowercase and a hieroglyphic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Goose Sports, what up? Slim Shady Canes. Sea Dog 18, which is not my evil twin, but my good twin.
That's right.
And Huff for Billy Paul, what's up? What's up? GT on top 88. That's a good freaking name. And Ike Dunwoody. Whatever it is. Good to freaking see in here. So I think that about covers the chat. I think that's everybody in there. And I'm so stoked to see you all. And we are getting ready to talk about some amazing freaking Georgia Tech content.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. I would check your phone real quick, too.
Yeah. So, I appreciate that. So,
Well,
what do you?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, what do you think about what's going on lately?
Well, we are close to the season, so August 26th, Saturday, will be the first games. Probably the best game to watch, 2:30 Navy, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a 20-point favorite with a 50.5-point over/under, so I guess they don't think Navy's going to score much more than a touchdown. Then we have some Thursday night games, August 31st, two good games. I'm going to be flipping back and forth on Nebraska at Minnesota. So that'll be Jeff Sims' first game with Nebraska. Minnesota actually favored in that, 7-point favorite with a 46.5-point over/under. And then you've got Florida, Utah. Now, who do you think's favored Florida, Utah, and by how much?
Probably Utah's favored by touchdown, 8 points, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Utah favored 8 points, 47.5-point over/under.
I think I might have already known that. I'm not some
You
kind
didn't
of.
have to say that.
I don't have like ESPN or anything. I just know that.
Yeah. It's not Rocket Appliances.
Right.
Then Guys, Friday night, September 1st, the game you're going to want to see, the only game on Friday night that's worth watching. Georgia Tech, Louisville, technically at Georgia Tech, it's technically a neutral site, but it's really a home game for Georgia Tech at the Benz. Georgia Tech an 8-point underdog on DraftKings. So it looks like that line has moved a half point. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if you see it move a little more in Tech's favor, because I think a lot of people are betting Louisville to cover. And I was saying in the comments, I've been watching a lot of videos on Louisville lately, kind of preparing some videos that I want to do. And a lot of people seem to think Louisville's going to cover, but no one very confident and no one who's willing to put their own money on it. So it'll be an interesting game.
I've got the games pulled up. I've got them pulled up as you're going through them for the viewing pleasure of the audience here.
All right. Also, Miami, Ohio, and Miami playing. Who really cares? Miami will blow. Miami of Ohio is the true Miami team. They'll blow out Miami of Florida.
If I could pick the outcome of just one game this season,
It would be that one.
I mean, how funny would it be if Miami of Ohio won?
It would be hilarious, but in my ideal season, I want Miami undefeated going in to the game they play with us.
I like that scenario too, although I would still pick them to lose this game just because of how funny it would be. I would call them Miami of Florida for the rest of time. Miami of Florida would be their new name.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost as good as Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that would be two garbage teams they're not as good as. Middle Tennessee State and Miami of Ohio.
Just imagine, like, if they had played them last year instead of Middle Tennessee State, just how funny it would be. This is, like, the golden opportunity, and I would just love – I mean, I would love nothing more than for Miami to lose that game. It would be so funny. It
would be hilarious. Now, tell me what you think about Virginia at Tennessee, 28-point underdogs. It's a lot of points to cover.
28-point underdogs, wow. I'd probably lay those points too.
All right.
Well,
I'll probably watch that just because I'm interested to see what Virginia is going to be this year. No one seems to think very much of them, including me. But
yeah, me too.
We don't tend to play Virginia well, especially, what are they, in Charlottesville? Yeah, they're in Charlottesville.
We play them there, yeah.
So I'll definitely be checking that one out.
How about Colorado TCU?
What time is that?
That one's at 12 on September the 2nd.
On a Saturday. Well, I tend to think TCU is going to blow them off the field.
Yeah, but, I do too. I am actually attending a wedding that day, so I don't. That's messed up, isn't it? I don't.
You might have to take some long bathroom breaks, depending on what.
So I could stand to well. First of all, Louisville versus Georgia Tech is on a Friday night, so that we're clear there. Okay. Realistically, all I'm missing here is what? Colorado TCU. That'll be a snooze fest. So will Virginia Tennessee. That's a terrible game. Scrolling down here.
I know there's
Texas,
one.
like, come on.
In South Carolina at North Carolina, 7:30 though. That would be an interesting game.
That is the one game that I'm gonna want to. I'm gonna definitely be taking some bathroom breaks to check out.
North Carolina, 2.5-point favorite. That's another game I would not be confident in because I don't know what North Carolina's defense is going to look like this year. I'm sure their offense is going to be very good. One of the best in the ACC and probably one of the best in the country. But they've got the over-under set at 62, so they, projected to be a relatively high-scoring game. And then South Carolina looked very, very impressive toward the end of the season last year. So I don't know. I don't know who I would take in that. I wouldn't bet it. That's what I would do. But.
Yeah. So I do, as far as weeks to miss football goes, this one's not too bad. I mean, there's really nothing very good LSU Florida State is the next day on Sunday. So there's only one good game on this week here, and it's North Carolina, or this day. It's North Carolina, South Carolina. That game's gonna be awesome.
Now, I do need to talk about. This reminds me of a video I'm gonna be researching the entire season, because my stance on sports betting. I'm not a fan of it at all. And what I'm going to do now, this guy's an NFL guy, a Philadelphia guy. I am going to have him make picks before every week, and I'm going to flip a coin. And my prediction, my hypothesis is he doesn't do any better than me flipping a coin on the line. So we'll see.
Might be right. So yeah, some decent games coming up. Very excited, obviously, for our jackets on Friday night. That will be amazing.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, that will be amazing. I can't wait. We're gonna knock their freaking teeth out. The birds with teeth.
Well, I tell you this. I listened to some stuff. I forget the name of the show, but they actually had one of the Louisville offensive linemen on, and he was talking about how much more convoluted their offense is now as opposed to what it was last year. Now, here's the thing. Their defense was one of the best in the country last year. They gave up about 19.2. Yeah. I think it was 19.2 points a game. So the question mark for both these teams is really, there's two. One, can your defense live up to the billing of last year, because they lost pretty much all their good pass rushers. Mm-hmm. They're bringing in a ton of talent in the secondary. Mm-hmm. They're not really replacing what they
so did we. It sounds like our situation.
Right. So we're the same there. And then on offense, what are you going to look like? They bring in Jack Plummer, I think that's his name, from UCLA, good quarterback. On paper, better than Haynes King. I mean, he started the whole time there. He played a little better. But we also bring in a guy, Haynes King. The thing is, I think we have a guy in Zach Pyron that's better than their number two, probably. Though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we have two quarterbacks that can start and win for us, in my opinion.
And they'll probably tell you they've got the same. I'm just really high on Zach Pyron.
Well, they don't have any kind of quarterback battle. I mean, it's Jack Plummer's job, and that's it,
It seems that way. I would be very surprised if Plummer doesn't start the whole season for them, barring injury. Where at Tech, I don't know. I mean, it's really a coin flip. I tend to think we'll see Pyron in the first series, but it's a true battle.
Yeah.
PR Sports says Georgia Tech 3-9 season at best. Would you take a bet on that?
Yeah, that sounds like an easy money bet for me, but
probably we won 5 last year.
Probably just a coward running his mouth in the comment section, not willing to bet that. So.
Yeah, maybe put $200 on that. PR.
Hey, this is a good segue into something else I wanted to do on this show tonight. Okay. So I may or may not make this into a video while I was thinking about it, but I might run out of time, so now seems like a good time to do it if I can't do it in the future. I want to take a look at our buddies over at the Cover 3 podcast. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You're more familiar than me.
Did you seek out this clip that I was telling you about? Have you seen it?
No.
What these guys have to say about Georgia Tech this year?
Is it the same as PR Sports?
Why don't we just cut over to it? All right. Actually, really quick, I got to share it with you so you can see it too. So you can see it in the in our chat. There it is. You should be able to see it now in our StreamYard, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and play this because this is bad. I've got it. Okay. I've got it on 1.5 speed, so just bear with me. It's just for time purposes. It'll be faster if we play it a little fast. Or it'll be, you know what I mean? So let's see what they had to say about Georgia Tech's over-under win total of 4.5. Oh, there's no audio. Okay.
He came and fired up the bees this particular year.
Danny's also on the under.
Danny's also on the under.
Count them up!
Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 4-4 down the stretch since Brent Key came and fired up the bees. The win total for an entire season set at 4.5, over at +110, under at -140. They open on Friday night of Labor Day weekend against Louisville, but that game has been moved to the Big Body Benz, home of the Atlanta Falcons. Then they play South Carolina State back at home, at Ole Miss, at Wake Forest, Bowling Green at home, then at Miami. Off on the 14th, then back in action against Boston College at home. North Carolina comes to visit on the October 28th, final month of the season, at Virginia, at Clemson, Syracuse, and Georgia. Annually, one of the toughest schedules that you're going to have in the ACC, just based on the fact that you play Clemson every year and you play Georgia every year. And now you also add in a road trip to Ole Miss and Oxford. Hank, what can this team do? You're in Atlanta right now. What can this team do in ACC play? What are we doing for the win total?
So this is another under. I only give them 3 wins. My parents went to UVA, so I'm giving UVA a little more benefit of the doubt than they deserve, probably. But they could get that 4 against UVA, but there's definitely not a 5th on the schedule.
He's got a season of Virginia.
Parents went to UVA, your kids went to Notre Dame. I guess you guys can read.
We try. But yeah, so I mean, I think that the QB won't be exciting no matter who it is. The players seem to believe in the coach, but it seems like the coach was a bit of a rushed pick. And I just don't believe they'll be good at all. I think Blaylock is the best player on their team. He's a transfer, and I think he's hurt right now or not practicing right now. But I mean, their overall fall from grace has been horrible.
Is that true?
I haven't heard that. And did he also say that whoever plays quarterback's not going to be that good or impressive?
Everything these guys say drips of ignorance. Like, they just don't know what they're talking about. It's so obvious. If you follow Tech and follow the program, like, the quarterback's not going to be exciting. Did you watch Zach Pyron play last year? Did you? I mean,
if Zach Pyron didn't get hurt, it's possible he could have been like a freshman All-American or All-ACC.
Yeah. I mean, what? Let's finish this out.
I don't think this is a bounce back year at all. So under.
Should be said he fired up the bees.
That's one under. Okay, under 4.5.
You gotta be careful about firing up bees because smoke makes them sleepy. And I am going to go with the under 2. I look at the schedule, I look at this team, like I understand that they had that nice finish last year and everybody was feeling good about it, but I just don't know what's really changed with this roster to make me think that in one offseason they're going to transform to a team that's going to be able to win that many games. I look at the schedule, at Ole Miss is tough, at Miami, you get North Carolina, you're at Clemson, you've got Georgia to finish the year, which we know they're not winning that game. They're probably not winning those other road games we mentioned. So they've got to really thread a needle to get to the over here, so I'm taking the under.
You got to thread the needle to get to the over.
What does he mean, what's different? We bring in Haynes King. We bring in Chase Lane. We bring in Braylon Oliver. We bring in Andre White.
They've never heard of those guys. They've never heard of them. They've only heard of Dominic Blaylock and Haynes King. Those are the only 2 Georgia Tech players that they've ever heard of. They don't know.
Yeah, the only way he would know that Dominic Blaylock is hurt is if he's at practice, which he's not.
Dominic Blaylock, I've never heard. Yeah. I haven't heard of that. I follow the program very closely. I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't either. It just seems like they're not high on Georgia Tech, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then they're coming on a show and like definitively like making a strong opinion.
And like it's just so obvious. When you come on and say Dominic Blaylock is by far their best player, how could you? It's just because he's the only player they've heard of.
I mean,
it's because it's the only player they've heard of from Georgia Tech. I mean, could you definitively say Dominic Blaylock's the best player on our roster? I don't think so. I mean, you got LaMiles Brooks, makes a strong case.
LaMiles Brooks, I think, might be, and this is probably controversial, the best defensive back in the ACC.
Dominic Blaylock might not even be our best receiver.
I mean,
our receiver room is stacked.
Christian Leary?
Right? You got Malik Rutherford. I mean...
Malik Rutherford.
DJ Moore is prepped to have a really good season. Our man who...
Abdul Janae is a guy that we haven't heard a lot about that could be really good.
We
We've
have
talked
s-
about Chase Lane.
We have several guys that have potential to be better than Dominic Blaylock. Just
Even the
wide receiver.
freshman, Zion Taylor out of Norcross. I've heard word that he's starting to turn some heads in practice.
Yeah.
We're going to have one of the better wide receiver rooms in the ACC.
Yes.
But without a doubt, I can say this confidently, without a doubt, it'll be in the top half of the ACC.
Yeah.
Well, our wide receiver room will be better than at least half of the ACC.
That's right. So, I mean, to just come on here and say stuff like Dominic Blaylock is by far the best player on our team is just.
Can we comment on this? I would like to bet them each $500 a piece. And I'll take the over.
Wow. If you want to do that,
Let's see.
something tells
1, 2,
me
3,
that
4.
they wouldn't. That they're not putting their money on this. Something tells me.
Well, no, they're kind of flippantly talking about, I'm just going to take the under. I mean, who's the best player on their team?
Yeah.
Like that Scaglione they got out of Princeton.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything? Did I say anything else here?
I'm taking the under. I'll just paint you a picture of how it could go over, I guess. They're going to beat South Carolina State. They should beat Bowling Green. So that's 2. Your game against Boston College is in Atlanta. It's off a bye. So that could be 3 if we're looking optimistically here. Syracuse, I don't like maybe Dino's still employed there. I hope he is. I like Dino by that time. But Cuse is also a team with pretty thin margins, as we discussed the other day. And at Virginia, like there's no guarantee Virginia has their act together in any way. So that could get us to 5 right there. Yeah, that is 5.
That'd be the over.
But I'm not loving some of their upset possibilities if they don't sweep the layups, man. Louisville neutral. I'm going to take Louisville there. At Ole Miss literally took several of their best players over the last 2 years. So
These same guys are talking about Louisville possibly. I think like at least half of them took the over on Louisville, just for context.
I think that probably tells you
that's
something about
9
the differential
Yeah.
of the rosters at Miami. I mean, look, they've done it before. Mario better not be losing to Georgia Tech and Miami again.
Last year, Brent Key, after he took over, beat North Carolina, Pitt, and Duke. Like all teams that finished ahead of them in the ACC Coastal Division. Like those wins were, I mean, Virginia Tech was the 4th win there for Keys, but like those are 3 bowl teams, 3 quality teams that they went up and beat. I do think there was probably some of the like coach bump that was there. I think there was also
Not having punts blocked against your
Oh,
team
Jesus
is
Christ.
actually an advantage.
that's
You know?
again.
But like we also just saw their best quarterback go to Nebraska. We saw their best wide receiver
Wait,
just go to
what
North
did he just
Carolina.
say?
Our best quarterback goes to Nebraska, so we had him in 2 of those games. We didn't need him to beat North Carolina.
Well, let's just take it a step further. We beat North Carolina without our Jeff Sims and Zach
And
Cotter.
Nate McCollum.
But he doesn't like our upset potential.
And Nate McCollum, too. So,
I mean, I just don't like their upset potential. You know what? If you would have taken Tech as the underdog last year, you'd be 4-2.
yeah.
You'd win. You'd have doubled your money on it.
This is like the type of thing that.
I mean, maybe it's just the coach bump. Yeah, I mean, it was just luck, man.
Yeah.
Brent Key, he's the luckiest coach of all time last year.
Yeah.
Both his starters go down. Nate McCullum goes down. Our probably best wide receiver, Leo Blackburn, goes down after the Duke game. And this year, we've got him out for this year. But Brent Key, he's lucky, guys. He's just lucky. Having to follow Jeff Collins, luckiest. That's like following Mark Rick. It's the easiest transition ever.
This is one of the most popular college football podcasts in the world, in the country. And this is like the amount of like research and knowledge that they have.
I'll be honest. Like if I'm not confident in what I'm saying, I will say that. Like I would have, if I were them, I'm saying, look, I don't know much about Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
All I know is that they've been pretty bad in the past.
Right.
And I'm going to take the under. Then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
These guys are speaking with confidence.
Yeah, especially Bud Elliott. Bud Light Elliott over there. He knows exactly what he's saying.
And that's why I stay in my lane. I talk about Georgia Tech and Georgia, which are the 2 teams I follow closely, and I branch out into ACC because we play them every year. I watch all the games. Like, I don't get on here and talk about every single team because there's just no way to know. I mean,
No.
and when I see something like this, and I know that they just don't know what they're talking about. Same with late kick. Same with late kick with Josh Pate. It's hard for me to take them seriously in other aspects. Anything other than the most popular teams, it's hard for me to take seriously what they say.
Look, and I get that, and I see someone else that saying, "Whoa, Bud Elliott's a good guy." Yeah, but he's like not making any sense here. I don't know what's any different about Georgia Tech. Look, they've got to play Clemson and Georgia. You know what they had to do last year, though? Play Clemson and Georgia. So, like, what are you talking? And they would have beat the over last year at 5 games. And he just admitted he thinks they'll win 5 games, which is the over, but he's taking the under.
I know. So,
They don't think about it too much.
I mean, I think we've sufficiently torn these guys apart. I don't know if there's anything else in here. We'll see.
Mention some of the departures to Ole Miss. I mean,
Keon White to the NFL. Keon White was a freaking beast, and
This is another fallacy, is when you're looking at teams and what they've lost, you got to look at what they're bringing in too. Like, oh, they lost this guy, this guy, and this guy. I've heard of all of them. I haven't heard of Braylon Oliver. Who's that? I haven't heard of Andre White. I mean, we're not going to
That's the
replace.
fairest.
It is the fairest thing, and we're not going to replace them. But there's not nobody playing those positions now, and we might be stronger in some places that we weren't last year. Wide receiver room, for example, maybe we're weaker on the defensive line. We're stronger in the wide receiver room. We're stronger in the quarterback room. Offensive line, I would argue, could be make some improvement. Our safeties are definitely looking great. Yeah, our corners are.
I hate
looking
to use
great.
that word, but they are.
Yeah, safeties and corners are looking great. Linebacker, well, we haven't had bad linebacker play in years, so.
Well, what I was saying is, I think the fairest criticism for Georgia Tech, like if you're really going to attack the under, is at least with losing Charlie Thomas and Ace Ely, we can point to guys that, hey, I think they have the potential to replace them.
Yes.
And Braylon Oliver and Andre White and Trinelius Tatum, who right now is being reported as the number 1 linebacker for us, above those 2 guys.
Really?
Yes. Now, on defensive line, though, who can you point to say, I think that they can replace Keon White?
Mm-hmm.
Really, nobody.
No.
Hold on, I got to take care of something.
No, you're right. And they do, and they do. But it's easy to just. My point is, it's easy to just list off who everybody's lost and not look at who's coming up. I think, and you look at the track record. I mean, I just don't think that we're going to have some kind of amazing drop off at the defense.
No. And my retort to that would be, what we might take a step back in defensively, particularly in defensive line, I think we will more than make up for it with what we're able to do offensively compared to last year.
And special teams.
There was a guy, and it's not the one you've pulled up, but he was saying Georgia Tech's kind of just a funny team. Like, he was making us out to be clowns. He's like, look, they go and pick up an offensive coordinator that was an analyst for UGA. And it's like, yeah, but he had been an offensive coordinator for 11 seasons prior to that. And he has a national title ring with him. I think it's a pretty good hire. In fact, I don't see many people that are critical of that.
Well, he was credited with the development and everything of Stetson Bennett, which everybody just hang on. Okay. You took care of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I got 3 screens, baby, just for these occasions.
I only have 2, dude. I'm falling behind. I got you on one screen and this video and these buffoons up here on the other ones.
Oh,
I appreciate you taking care of that as my only mod. I should probably.
Well, 33% more
You know
streams.
what? I'm going to add Slim Shady Canes as a moderator as well. There you go.
There you go, Slim.
Thank you, Slim.
Well, now Slim's going to like hide me and disappear
You
me.
guys
For
should both be. I don't know what managing or standard is. I don't know what that crap is, but you guys should both be the same level. Anyway.
But I will say this. I think this is how the majority of the country thinks about Georgia Tech and how the majority of the country thinks about Louisville.
Yes.
Right
No.
now.
Yeah. Exactly. And I've been fighting. Me and you both have been fighting this battle the entire offseason. And listen, to Bud Elliott, Tom Fernelli, Chip Patterson, and Hank, I'm willing to sit you fellows down and explain to you exactly the changes of Georgia Tech and what's going on. And listen, I'm not all rose-tinted glasses. Last year, I predicted us to win 4 games. Okay? I predicted us to win 4 games last year. And I can be realistic. I know when we're going down. I know what we're capable of. So they're
acting like Jeff Collins still coaches at Georgia Tech.
Yeah. They're acting like he said. I mean, it tells you all you need to know when they say it was a rushed hire for Brent Key.
No.
Well, Brent Key was
we
one of the
didn't
best.
hire him until January.
Brent Key was one of the best candidates. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I bet these guys think we should have hired Willie Fritz. I bet you these guys think.
Yeah.
Which anybody who thinks we should have hired Willie Fritz, that tells you that they don't know anything about Tech football. Okay?
Well, how many years does Willie Fritz have? Like, he's old enough to be Betty White's father.
Yeah.
So, like, how much longer is he going to be around anyway? So, if you're thinking long term, the best candidates, I think, obviously, Brent Key, I think was a good candidate who we hired.
Yep.
But also the guy from Coastal Carolina.
Jamie
his
Chadwell.
name's
Yep.
Jamie. I would have been really happy with Jamie Chadwell.
Those were my top 2 at the end of the offseason, or at the beginning last year.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else we interviewed. I don't think Dion was interested.
Dude, we interviewed freaking Bill O'Brien. I am so glad that we didn't get him, dude. I'm so glad. I think he turned the job down because we wouldn't pay him enough. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, he probably wanted $5 million a year. Or
that
something
is like for somebody who is like about to get fired, that is insane. We almost made the same mistake Virginia did. I mean, Tony Elliott was about to get fired at Clemson. Freaking Virginia comes along and solves all their problems for him. We were about to do the same thing with Bill O'Brien. I did not want Bill O'Brien.
I didn't want Bill O'Brien either.
You can't go into Alabama with all the talent in the world and you're losing production on the offense. And why? I just don't understand like why you would hire him. I just don't get it. But and then the whole debacle of what he did in the NFL. That would not have made me happy at all as the Bill O'Brien hire. So I mean, you look around at, and apparently all these other 100 coaches that we hired, and they all turned down the job according to some people.
Well, yeah, and I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it takes time to turn down 9 guys. I will say this. My understanding is with Jamie Chadwell, he wanted to wipe the staff.
Yes.
That was a condition of him being hired, and I'm sure he would have wanted somewhere in the $5 million a year range. Now, time will tell whether that was a good decision or not. But here's what I will tell you. I don't think wiping the staff entirely was the right move, because I do think that Chris Winkie being on this staff is pivotal to our success, being what I think is one of the more underrated quarterback coaches in the country, and really underrated assistants in the country.
That's right. I mean, I don't know where Uncle Lou has this idea that we let 9 people turn down the job, because whenever it first happened, he was saying something like 14 people turned it down. So it's funny that he's lowering that number now. but I don't really
It's
know.
like
where
Vegas odds against
and
Louisville.
he's
It
never
keeps moving.
I asked him for a source, and he sent me like ESPN.com or something. So I don't know.
My source is Google.com.
Yeah,
That's my source.
so Swam magazine, of course, is a source on that. So, I mean, I follow the program very closely. I feel like I would know if we interviewed freaking 100 people for the job and they all turned it down. Brent Key was the best choice. Now, I will say that I do think the administration, Jay Batt in particular, I do think settled for Brent Key. I do think that. I don't think he was his first choice. I think when Jay Batt came in, he wanted to hire out. Probably had the Bill O'Brien connection, and was looking to kind of make his own guy hired. Brent Key was just one of the best choices. It minimized roster turnover. If we had hired Jamie Chadwell, for example, we would be looking at the under 4.5 would probably be realistic because a lot of our players would have transferred. Now, we have a talented roster that stayed because they wanted Brent Key. A lot of them, we didn't get killed in the transfer portal. We had a couple players leave to freaking Ole Miss because of NIL deals, but it's not. I mean, and it's not anything that is going to kill us. Okay, so we were able to prevent a complete roster annihilation, and that's why I'm largely confident. Because I've been saying this for years. We have the talent to go to bowl games and have success. We have the talent. We've been recruiting 4 stars. We've been recruiting good players. Wasn't you were doing a depth chart analysis on the? You were like, everybody behind them is all, it's like all 4 stars, right?
In the secondary, there's not a single kid in our secondary that's not a 4-star, except for Clinton Powley, who is clearly a 4-star talent. He was a freshman All-American honorable mention.
Exactly. Like
really talented.
Like we have talent. We have talent. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, are a lot of teams we're going to play be more talented? Probably, but the talent differential isn't what people think it is. And I see Lou saying Collins was the right choice. We were saying Collins was the right choice when he was hired. We weren't the only ones.
Well, so were you. You said it
too. A lot of
too.
people were saying
Uncle
that.
Lou, you said it too.
So. And by the way, the difference being Key showed you results already. When you go on the road and beat 2 ranked opponents, one of them being North Carolina that won the ACC title, I think that tells you the kind of coach Brent Key can be beyond what you thought Collins could be.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will tell you this, some somewhat insider knowledge of like how practicing is going and how it's different. Just from what I've seen in some groups, evidently when Collins was the coach, it seems like there was never any practice, like contact during practice. And he would literally have like people with like a cardboard cutout of a quarterback running around. And then other people were like running around with pool noodles trying to swat. I swear to God.
That's why we were so soft. It's because, we didn't practice in pads and we didn't have contact. And we had the freaking practices split into 3 different fields. And that's why we were so soft under him.
Do they still have bench pressing sideline during games? I don't think you'll see that again, Blue, be honest with you. And that was, I was saying that was dumb at the time. I didn't have a channel at the time to prove that I was saying that, but it was.
So how lucky are you? My first.
I kind of was protected from.
My first video is me coming on here saying how great Jeff Collins is, and he's building something special, and Kirby Smart's hit his ceiling, and.
Yeah, but in your defense, how could you have known practice was pool noodles and cardboard cutouts?
I mean, how am I? Yeah. And everybody from the outside, it just seemed like a good hire. And look, the Brent Key hire, not a flashy hire. Nobody's heard of him before. Nobody, I mean, it doesn't impress somebody who isn't familiar with the program. But if you've seen Brent Key, especially if you've seen him from, you know, when he first got here and everything, and you followed him, like it's pretty special. The Brent Key hire was one of the best candidates, and I think was a very good candidate, and provides, and he's not only going to be a good coach, but provides some continuity from last year to where we're not having to completely start over with a gutted roster, you know.
Yeah, everything I've heard from players is the same thing. You'd run through a brick wall for this guy. Now, does that mean we're going to be the best team in America? No, but we're going to be a much better team. We'll be a bowl team, in my opinion, for sure.
I think we'll win 6 to 8 games. That's my floor. If everything goes right, I think we can win 8. If everything goes wrong, 6. You know, I just don't see any less. And I've put my money down on it. I've got about $200 out in bets right now on that specific scenario.
One with a moderator of the channel now.
That's right. I've got yes. So. You know, I'm confident when I say this. I've got $200 of my money out on it right now. We're going to make a bowl at the very least. We almost did last year. If we had made a bowl last year, I wonder if people would be so down on us. Well, we had 2 hurt quarterbacks last year. I mean, he did the absolute best with what he had to work with, and with a full off season, I have the utmost confidence in him. And it's
By the way, that was a slick little trick there, but you ain't going to outsmart the tech man. Go ahead. I'm just going to look up the thing.
That is a nice trick. We have the technology.
We have technology.
Wait, I actually have that as a stinger.
I hate LSU. I fucking hate LSU. God damn it.
Okay, that was the wrong stinger.
Oh, that was great too.
Here's the stinger I was trying to. How do you do this? It's so convoluted. The freaking stingers on this. Here's the right stinger.
We have technology.
Actually, I'm gonna do something else. I know that this is going to be controversial. Can you make Troll Zero Recman 1 a mod, and then I'm going to know the difference in that and any other channel.
Troll Zero Recman. What?
The person who commented that, the Uncle Lou.
Oh. Troll Zero.
Yeah, because I want to easily be able to distinguish that.
Okay,
from
got you.
anyone else.
All right, there you go.
All right, good.
Troll Zero Recman 1. Okay, that is a funny comment. All right, there you go. Uncle Lou, the Uncle Lou is now a moderator. I wiped my moderators a while ago because somebody was going and hiding people from the channel, like out of the stream, and like Big Dog Brett was hidden, and like some like people were hidden. I'm like, what the hell? So I just took every one of them off.
The hilarious thing is, if that guy had not tried that trick by saying that, I wouldn't have noticed it for a long time.
Right.
So what an idiot.
Yeah, he blew it. So now I have only 3 moderators. It's a very prestigious position. Now, don't go hiding anybody, or I know it's one of you 3. All right. Are we done with these freaking guys? I still got them up on the screen. Do you want to finish out the video? I think they're almost done.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I mean, his numbers are just way brighter on the screen than anybody else's from last year.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, I'm on the under 2.
Oh,
Like,
that is a nice little comment. Did you catch that?
Sorry, I was sitting down. What did he say?
We were talking about, because it got us talking about losing Keon White, and he says his numbers are way brighter on the screen than anybody else's. So pretty much just tells you they're basically just looking at numbers. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. That's it.
I don't think that this is a roster. It's going to be fascinating to watch Haynes King, because Haynes King is the classic example of former huge program quarterback shows up somewhere else, and all the fans are like, dude, we got a Texas A&M quarterback, all right?
Do you think he starts? Because like I'm not sure. I think they might roll with Pyron.
I'm honestly shocked that
So they know-
that they know who Pyron is. I'm honestly shocked.
Okay,
Honestly,
this is getting worse.
Like
Man.
I know, but isn't that a negative if the guy you bring in isn't going to start? Typically,
Yes.
Yeah.
Not great.
So something that I read when I was prepping for the Georgia Tech part is between 1997 and 2014, I realized a lot of that was option. Georgia Tech did not have a losing regular season. I mean, that's an insane fall from grace. Obviously, college football is a zero-sum game, but I mean, it's insane that how bad they become. And like, they don't even get kids from Atlanta to visit who are high 4-stars, and they don't even show up. It's crazy.
the guy
Run the dang option.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's bring CPJ back. Come on, Paul. We can do it. All right, so that's all overs. Sweep of overs.
under.
Yeah, sweep
Danny's
of
under.
So they have a lot of
sweep of unders,
Georgia
5 for
Tech-
5.
By the way, if you're new to the show, we do not do this. Like, go back and like plug through our records. We are not the show that's like, hey, we're betting all the overs on the good teams, all the unders on the bad teams. Like, that's literally almost the opposite of what we do typically. So,
that
doing
statement,
here.
that statement honestly makes it worse.
Yeah, that they do know a good bit about the Tech
They do.
football, and they're saying this is
It
weird.
is like it is. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. So they don't just take the unders on the crappy teams. So it boggles my mind that they would then all take the under. Not one of them took the over on Georgia Tech.
Did Chip Patterson
No,
take the under?
they all took the under. They just said it. It's a sweep of unders.
Huh.
So, you know,
Okay.
I mean, it's like
A lot of people are going to look. It's going to be good content for us at the end of this season.
It is.
That's all I can say. I've got I had to buy a whole other hard drive to save these clips for future.
right.
videos.
I know, right? So, I think that about covers the Cover 3 podcast. I was watching that, and I just couldn't believe how much we were being underrated by these guys. So
Yeah, and again, I got the impression they just kind of didn't know anything about the program, but
yeah,
they do, and they still think we're going to be worse this year than we were last year, which I don't get.
Yeah.
I could see someone saying if their stance was 5-7, I would way more understand that. I mean, that would be the over.
right. Yeah, no, for sure. So that is just something I wanted to bring up. We are being sorely underrated, and you could also go and look at that for freaking the freaking as much as I hate to say it and clown on this guy because he's freaking awesome. What's his name? Gridiron Expert took the under too. It's just silly to me. You know who Gridiron Expert is?
Yeah. He's
He's like-
taking the under.
He's like the he's like the report of the week of college football. You know the report of the week? Review bra?
I love review, bro.
Review bra. He's like the review bra of college football.
That's
Because
awesome.
he's always in a suit, and he's just very buttoned up and like professional looking, but he's like this scrawny like white guy.
And his suits are a little too big
Yeah,
because they literally don't make suits his
Right.
size.
he's the review bra of college football. So I hate getting onto him, but he did the same freaking thing and took the under. That's another L. I hate to tell you, that's another L.
I mean, look, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Georgia Tech homer.
I'm not
Like,
either.
I do not see us. You have to tell me, how are we going to be worse this year than last year,
Yeah.
and how is that going to happen?
Well, I know. Then I mean, it's just like easy money to at 4.5 for Georgia Tech. I mean, we won 5 games last year. Like, it just doesn't make any sense that people think that we would be worse than last year. At the very, very worst, 5-7 would be where we would probably be at. I don't understand. It's not even just that. It's like all the things that went wrong last season to have us only winning 5 games. You know.
Or less than 5.
You have
I
to
mean,
look. Yeah,
Go
go ahead. Especially less than 5 games. Just so
Yeah.
many things had to go wrong for us to do that. including the quarterback situation. But we're looking at more depth at quarterback now, and I don't know, man. I know Zach.
Well,
Martin, what?
think about how many things went wrong last year.
Yeah.
Number one, coaching change, right?
Yep.
And there was like a running back coach left.
Yep.
We also, by definition, lost our offensive line coach. He was promoted to interim.
I consider the special teams a travesty too, because keep in mind Brent Key had to take over this from another person's team, right?
Yeah.
So he had to put a Band-Aid on the special team situation that was averaging a punt block a game. He had to put a Band-Aid on that in the middle of the season. But go ahead. Sorry.
That he had to completely transform how practice was done, which is also a change of culture from being soft to being tough, honestly. Then not only does Jeff Sims get hurt, and it's apparent he's going to transfer because it seemed like he was able to play and refused to. Then you bring a kid off the scout team, and then he gets hurt, and you have to go with Zach Gibson and Pumachan. McCullum was hurt. Leo Blackburn was nursing injury. Yeah, you're right. With the special teams, there really more could not have gone wrong last year, and we won 5 games. And that's what I'm saying. And like I see Slim saying, get with reality. This is the reality, Slim. I know it's hard because you're a Miami fan, all right? And y'all have been dissociated from reality for 20 years now.
I like how the guy that took an even money parlay is telling us to take off the homer stage. He took an even money parlay that Georgia Tech doesn't make a bowl and Miami does. That's the most homer bet I've heard in my whole life. Okay?
Right, and it's not. We've talked about this. It's not clear to me that Miami makes a bowl this year.
It's not. Now it would be funny. I mean, it'd be funny if we didn't make a bowl, if Miami also didn't make a bowl, so he still lost the bet. It'll be funny either way because Slim is just, in reality, both teams will probably make a bowl and Slim will lose. You can't tell us to take off our homer shades and have a bet out like that. That's just silly. You're going to lose that bet. You are going to lose it.
Right. So now I've laid out like 12 things that went horrifically wrong for us last year that were outside of our control. So let's get back to this reality thing. We won 5 games in spite of all of those things happening.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think we're going to do worse this year? That's what you've got to show me. And I don't see a great argument for it.
Yep.
You could say, oh, well, you're going to have a ton of injuries. Well, we had a ton of injuries last year with a coaching change and won 5 games. So give me something better, something new.
That's right. That's right.
Just owning people left and right. I'm owning trolls. I'm owning Miami people, which is not a high bar.
He says, no, I'm not losing the bet. You are. You're losing it. I mean, you can cope in the comment section all you want and try to convince yourself that, but I would be gathering my money up if I were you. I'd be squirreling my pennies away if I were you to pay us our freaking money.
I'll tell you what we haven't done, which is hired a coach every other year for the past 20 years. So we're better than Miami, at least in that.
A lot of people wanted Collins fired sooner than I did. A lot of people.
I was one of them.
A lot of people were tired of him after year 2. I was saying give him a chance.
No, I was tired of him like middle of the 3rd year.
I was tired of him not even middle of the 3rd year, not even after losing 100-0 to Georgia and them. It was only once a few things happened. Jahmyr Gibbs entering the transfer portal was my number one biggest issue. And then not only just Jahmyr Gibbs, but everybody else. Everybody, the entire roster basically entering the transfer portal, all of the recruits decommitting, and our best coaches leaving, Marco Coleman and just our choice. Everybody, the mass exodus showed me that nobody believed in him anymore. And if none of the players or coaches or recruits believed in him, why should I? Okay. So that was the moment that I was like, okay, it's over. It's over for Jeff Collins. And
That's true.
so
Slim says I haven't owned anything yet, which is curious. This is my wallet where I keep it on camera. What's this right here?
uh-oh.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
It
What's that?
says Rec owns Slim and Troll. So
Oh man. Is that the
Wow.
scorecard? Is that the score sheet?
yeah. And I didn't just write that. That's been in there for 3-4 years now.
Hey,
Before
you
I
know
even
what's
thought
also
it
about
could.
to be in there is Slim's money.
Yeah, I've got now. It's already pretty full because I'm a tech man,
Right.
but there is room for your money, Slim, in there. I promise you.
He made a spot just for you, Slim.
That's right. I might even upgrade my wallet just to make sure there's plenty of room.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm looking forward to the season. I mean, you could talk about shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, season's in 2 weeks, and we've got our money out. We've bet on our team, and we're simply responding to what these freaking idiots are taking the. Look, if you're looking to bet the over for Georgia Tech or the over under for Georgia Tech, don't listen to the Cover 3 podcast. I would be extremely skeptical of anything the Cover 3 podcast tells you. I mean, there are people, and I know it's everybody's responsible for the bets they make, but there are people that are looking to that to get advice for what to bet on, And
Yes.
I know that everybody's responsible for what they bet, but it just seems pretty irresponsible and just unprofessional to not have that information and to not have a full understanding of the teams you're taking the over under on. You know what I mean? I try to do most research for what I do, or if I do something, I'm like, hey, I don't exactly know what I'm talking about. I say this every single week on the ACC show where we preview team schedules. I say, listen, we don't know about Syracuse, okay? We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know the politics of the thing. So if you're a Syracuse fan watching this show and you're like, these guys are idiots, they don't know what they're talking about, come on and tell us what's up. I say that every time we talk about a team on the ACC show. So you got to take a little accountability, and it just bothers me when I see these national types come on with their chest puffed out. They got all these subscribers and followers, and they come on and just run their mouth about teams, and they don't know what they're talking about. It just bothers me.
How many people are going to lose money betting Tech on the under? It might cause another recession. The amount of people that are about to lose money taking the under on Tech.
I know Slim's one.
Yeah, other than Slim, he's obvious.
I know Pete's another. And Bulldog Brian, who I also have a bet with, and Celine Driver, who for some reason bet me the over/under on Georgia Tech. I know for sure they're going to be hurting after this. So
Celine bet the under on Tech.
Dude, so I'm sitting here arguing. I come on and have to argue with these jokers on the ACC show every week. Who keep saying that Tech sucks and we're not going to hit we're going to win less than a bowl game or whatever. And I'm sitting there arguing with them, and I'm like, bet me then. I'm like, bet me. I'm telling them, and I'm like, you all need to bet me if you're going to keep talking like that. And I'm like, why won't anybody bet me? And freaking Celine comes on, who, for those of you who don't know Celine Driver, he's a Florida fan. And he's like, I'll bet you. And I'm like, are you serious, Celine? I'm like, I don't want to bet you. You're a Florida fan. We're supposed to be getting along. Georgia Tech and Florida never play each other, and they hate the same teams. We're natural allies. What are you doing coming on and betting me about our freaking over-under? And he doesn't even know anything about Georgia Tech. He's like, oh, are they supposed to be good this year? I don't know. I just want to bet you. I'm like, why? He's such an antagonist to me for no reason. It just makes
and Florida's in the tank right now anyway.
No sense. So, obviously, I had to take the bet because I'm, like, telling everybody, come on. But I wanted to take, like, a Georgia fan or Clemson fan or Miami fan's money. I didn't want to take a freaking Florida fan's money. That doesn't give me any trash talk. It doesn't give me anything. I shouldn't have took it, to be honest. I should have made the bet with some other. But I've got a bet with Bulldog Brian, who's a Georgia fan, Pete, who's a Clemson fan, and Slim Shady, who's a Miami fan. So that'll be good enough. It'll be good enough to take his money, but I just wanted to bet somebody, and they're like, "Oh, Sea-Dog, what are you trying to back out now?" No. I just wanted to freaking.
What do you think the over/under on Florida is this year? Win total.
What I think it is, if I had to guess, 5.5.
It is exactly 5.5.
Yeah.
So this guy's coming out chirping about Tech, and he's sitting on a 5.5.
Well, he doesn't even know. He doesn't know anything about Tech, and he's like, he's just watching the show, and he's like, "I'll bet you," like.
Oh
He
my
just,
God.
I don't get it. He's supposed to be. I wish Salim would back me up for once. I wish he would like help me trash talk Georgia or something. I've never seen him even speak a bad word about Georgia before. He's he's bent the knee. He's like, oh, Georgia's too good. I hope they don't beat us too bad. Oh, come on, man. Trash talk him one time. It's fun.
Well, we know he's not going to do that.
I know it's scary. I know it's scary. I know they've won some games and had some success lately. But it feels good. To stand up to them damn Bulldogs. It feels good.
Hell yeah, it does. Let me kill two birds with one stone. PR Sports says, basically, we think Georgia Tech's going 12-0. And then another guy, who is that, was asking. James Bush asked, do you think Georgia Tech will win 8 this year? I don't think Georgia Tech will win 8 games this year. I think they could. I wouldn't put my money on that.
I do too. I wouldn't put my money
so that answers both questions.
I put my money on them making a bowl game. PR Sports, if you're coming in and running your mouth about, you said 3-9 at best, why don't you bet one of us? Huh? You said 3-9 at best. Why don't you bet the over at freaking 3.5 on one of us if you're gonna run your mouth?
No, he's gonna. So the bet with him would be if we win 4 or more games, we win, and 3 or less, he wins.
Right.
And I said $200. I didn't see a response to that. But
Yeah, if you're so freaking confident when I come in, there's the PayPal. Right, you can post your PayPal too. You send one of us the money if you're so freaking confident when to run your mouth. Either that or shut up. Okay? 3-9 at best. Give me a freaking break. No, I don't think we're going 12-0. I think we're probably going 7-5. That's what I think. You have them 4-8. Okay, so why'd you type 3-9 earlier?
oh, so now this is what happens every time.
Yeah.
Someone gets pushed a little bit, and it's like, oh no, I want to change.
Yeah,
I want to change it.
Yeah. You're on the spot now. Did you think we would do this to you? I'd still take a bet at 4-8.
Yeah, so 5 wins.
But
no, we're going with what you said, bro. Yeah, nah, that's what I.
My wife.
Water Pistol Pete PR Sports Jr. Going somewhere else. All right.
I would bet more people, but my wife is forbidding me from taking any more bets out. Okay, my wife has forbidden me from taking any more of your money. In case a freaking tornado comes and wipes out the entire Georgia Tech team and we somehow don't make a bowl, she would be mad if I lost a bunch of money. So my wife has forbidden me from that. So PR Sports and all you other people that think Georgia Tech's going to hit the under, I need you to write. Well, you don't have to do it now because obviously you don't know. But here in a few months when you do know, I'm going to need you to write her a thank you letter. And thank you. And thank her for not allowing me to take all your money. Because that's what will be happening.
So that's the good news, PR Sports. The bad news is Rec Talk ain't got a lady telling him what he's got to do with his money. He can do whatever he wants. So, yeah.
I've hit my cap. I've hit my betting cap. So
I know. Oh, now I noticed the Louisville game was home. It's not at home. It's in Atlanta. It's a neutral site game.
Oh, but
Equal number of tickets sold to both teams.
You got us beating Louisville now? You've got us beating Louisville now? Of all the teams we play on our schedule, and you think we're going to go 4-8, and you think Louisville is going to be one of them? If we go 4-8, we're not going to beat Louisville.
Man, he's on skates all of a sudden, isn't he?
On
Backing
skates all
up,
of a sudden.
backing up.
You better not come in here with that weak shit at the freaking Georgia Tech live show. We're we're gonna freaking bite back, okay?
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. I love it. And I'll tell you what, speaking of that, credit to Slim, because Slim did put his money where his mouth is.
He
Now,
did. He made a dumb freaking bet.
it's a dumb bet.
But
He took a bet that we would have agreed to less than what he told us, probably, but he at least put money on it.
Yeah.
I changed it earlier. LOL. You changed it. That's the point, buddy.
We get it. No, we get it. We get it. I see. I understand it. I know exactly what is going on here.
I would race you. I just don't feel like it. Oh, leave me alone. This is like the playground in second grade all of a sudden.
Don't worry about it, PR Sports. We'll let you off the hook. Just don't come in here talking all that mess.
Don't you come over here and rap talk.
Talking all that mess.
This is alpha energy. Big dick. Okay? You don't get that.
That's
You
right.
just ran into, you stepped in it, though.
You can come on all you want, Slam. You're gonna get Miami is. You don't know what's coming to you. Because guess what? You can have all the talent in the world, all the 5 stars in the world. If you can't can't coach them worth the shit.
Okay. I hate to have to say this and use this kind of language, but what a pussy response. I'm not betting money, but I want an apology letter when y'all
Wow.
less.
I was letting you off the hook. I thought we were going in a little too hard, but you have to come back with that. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Well, if you're so confident that we would write an apology letter, why not put your money on it? In your mind, you've got a money-making machine.
Yeah, you got 2 suckers sitting right here ready to take your freaking. Well.
What about $1,000? Would that motivate you at all? I mean, I know you'd have to go get a loan to come up with that kind of money, but I mean, still, you'd be able to pay it back with an extra $1,000 in your pocket. So I don't want to hear anything else out of you until you click the PayPal link.
You're saving for school. Okay.
Well, Brett
So
was
that
going
means
to, in your mind, pay for part of your school.
You can
So
come
what's
on
the
here,
problem?
make all the insane claims that you want, and he has way more than that. He's so rich, but he doesn't want to bet a single dollar of it. He just wants to be able to comment and with all the dumb shit he wants and not be held accountable for it. I see what's going on here.
But wouldn't it feel good to take it from me, though? Let's say you're a millionaire. Wouldn't it feel good to take it from Rick, though?
This guy.
You won't do it.
This
But
guy,
you won't do
This
it.
guy's something else. You need to take 5 there, buddy. You need to take 5. That's a timeout worthy right there. That's
I mean, I
timeout.
stepped on a peeled grape, and it hurt worse than anything he said to me.
If you come on a college football show and you're talking silly stuff like that and talking about, oh, I have all this money, I'm not willing to bet it, get out of here, dude. I mean, how long have you been around? How long have you been in the community? That's take 5 worthy.
I'm saving for school. Well, maybe go to school and learn some things about how you need to bet, maybe statistics. That'd be a good place to start.
Yeah. Do you want to drop the link?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. I have a feeling that Slim would like to come in, but something just tells me that.
I've drank my 3rd Diet Coke, so I'm going to take a pee break.
Okay. Anybody who wants to come talk to us is the StreamYard link. Okay. And we're going to be so stoked to hear from you. We got Rec Talk P in there.
I'm a rambling Rick.
All right. Seems like we have a guest. It'll be Slim Shady Canes. Hey, man.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
My man.
Okay. Rick. Was Georgia Tech the only team in the country with injuries last year?
That's not the only thing I laid out, buddy.
Okay, but I'm taking it 1 point at a time. I've come on and stated 1 point.
How many teams were on their 3rd string quarterback last year?
Well, Miami was. There goes you one right there, and we absolutely blew y'all out of the water.
Name one more.
It doesn't matter. That's somebody on your
It
schedule.
absolutely
on their third
matters.
string
That's
quarterback.
the one
absolutely
game. That's the
matters.
one game that you watched from Georgia Tech last year. Oh, besides the Virginia game. That's right.
Okay.
Actually, I
so
watched
maybe less than
Georgia Tech.
1% of teams.
Hang on.
Hold on, grown man's talking. Less than 1%.
Yeah,
of
whatever.
teams.
I watched like four. I watched like 4 Georgia Tech games.
You told
last
me
year.
before that you told me before all you saw was a Virginia game and the
No, that
Miami
wasn't
game.
me. That wasn't me.
That's what you told me.
All of a sudden, it's not.
No,
On
that
the
wasn't
ACC
me.
show.
You on skates like PR
Dude,
all of a sudden.
Back when
What
I
are you
was
talking
in the
about?
woods.
Hang on. Go back and look at the comments section on Pete's video. Obviously, I was sitting there watching the Georgia Tech Clemson game because I was watching along with him.
I buy that.
Yes,
That's
I watched
two.
the UVA game. Yes, I watched the
Okay.
Miami game. And I watched the first 3 quarters of the Georgia game.
Okay.
I see.
So your first point, yeah, not many teams. Very few teams were on their third string quarterback. You were one of them as well as us. Something new. What's
Okay,
the
well,
answer?
that's still not the answer to my question. I said, was Georgia Tech the only team with injuries?
No.
Okay, then. So
No, but our
you're,
point
you're
was
basically
we had,
on an even
we had
playing
tons
field.
of injuries and still went 5-7, and we had a lot of things go wrong, and we still missed a freaking bowl game by a hair. So
Okay.
with with a full
it's all-
offseason to prepare, and we had no quarterback depth.
Well, let me ask you this,
We got
Slim.
quarterback
How many
depth going in this season.
teams had been coached by Jeff Collins for 4 seasons before going to a new coach?
Where was I can't even remember where Jeff Collins was for Georgia
Temple.
Tech. Not off the top of my
Temple.
head. Okay.
He was like 7-win coach at Temple.
Well, that's saying something for Temple.
Well, no,
Oh.
because he succeeded Matt Rule who was winning 11 and 12 games at Temple.
He was putting people in the draft at Temple.
Well, I'm talking in general. I mean, one or two coaches have had success at Boise State too.
Yeah. My point being,
So I mean, if you go back to Boise and you win 7 or 8 games a year, you're in the upper echelon of coaches Boise's had.
what are you saying, that Jeff Collins was not as horrible as a coach as I think he is?
No, I'm saying exactly what I said. That
Okay.
still winning 7 or 8 games at Temple is not terrible.
How many did he win at Georgia Tech?
Didn't he end up with 10 total wins?
He won
Or
10
11?
in
10 total
what,
wins.
4 and a quarter seasons?
Yeah.
That's right.
3 and a quarter seasons?
Yeah, three and a
Three and a
quarter.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, Slim,
Well, that's-
we got a few people
that's-
that kind of want to talk. I'm going to put you in I want to argue with you, but I feel like that's going to take a while. Can I put you in the back for a little bit and then see what these guys want to say, and then I'll bring you back on?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, consider I never got to rebut a point, but okay.
I'll bring
That's
you
the
back
way I
on, and we
drew it
can
up.
argue till the end of the show. We'll just see what we'll just see what these guys
Yeah.
want to say. All right.
Yeah, you're good.
Is one of them
AIP,
PR?
what's up, man?
What's up, Sea Dog? So, it seems like y'all have been talking about a lot of Georgia Tech stuff. So, what do y'all think about Brent Key as y'all's coach?
Have you listened to the show?
Yeah,
I'm pretty high on him.
Yeah, we've been pretty much
Pretty much what we're just talking about with
Yeah.
Slim.
Yeah.
Pretty high on him. Probably wins 6, 7, 8 games.
That's cool. So who do you think's going to win the ACC championship?
My pick is Clemson.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree. I think Florida State will win it just because I think Florida State has a little bit better talent. So I think Florida State will win it all.
Then Clemson?
I don't know about all that, but
Clemson's out recruited for the past decade or more.
Seems like Clemson had a little downfall last year.
How many games they lose last year? 3?
Yeah, 3 games.
And what did Florida State go last year?
They also lost 3 games too. But the only difference is Florida State won their bowl game. Clemson lost their bowl game to my Tennessee Volunteers, which I loved it. So
And to your credit, a lot of people agree with you. A lot of people think Florida State's going to be this unbelievable team. A lot of people think Florida State's a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
I tend to think that Clemson made the right hire with the offensive coordinator, and they're going to be rising back to national prominence here soon. So I don't feel like they have a lot to do to that point.
Hey, C-Dog, I know I've watched one of your videos about your complaints about, Stanford, California trying to join the ACC. I kind of agree with you on everything about that. I mean, it's kind of stupid. It's stupid to have, two West Coast California teams traveling all the way to play against ACC teams, which I definitely think it's stupid because it's going to be a long trip for them.
Well, I mean, it's not even just that, but if it was Oregon and Washington, that'd be fine because they bring value to the conference, whereas Stanford and Cal does not.
Cal don't.
There's no monetary advantage to adding them. So, but
I don't think anything's going to happen to the ACC unless Florida State, Clemson make a move or something.
Well, we've got until Tuesday, right? If you're listening to Florida State people.
That's right.
Before they announce they're leaving.
It'll get pushed back. Anyway, AIP, we're going to keep the calls. We have a bunch of people in the back room, so
all right, that's
see
fine.
what they got to say. All right?
All right, that's fine. I'll leave.
I appreciate you calling in. I'll see you later, man. Okay.
Thanks, man.
GT on top. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Y'all doing all right?
Hell yeah, man.
Man.
Got to see him, this fella here at the first Saturday on the Flats the other day.
That's right.
Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't get y'all's autograph, but
We got a picture, though, didn't we?
We did. Well, I don't think so.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we should have got a picture. Well, we'll get a picture next time you see us.
Maybe I'll catch y'all at the Ole Miss game or something.
Yeah, something like that. We'll be at a few games this year, so we'll get a picture.
No. One thing I was going to talk about earlier in the week, I heard something that Buster Faulkner said kind of intrigued me a little bit. But when he said this is going to be Georgia Tech's offense, and just thinking back to the past, Brent Key, y'all have said it on the show before about how much he hates Georgia. Well, I feel like if you was going to build an offense to compete with Georgia or to be able to, maximize being able to move the ball on their talent level, it'd be like a Mississippi State or something. Spread the ball out and get the ball out quick where you can eliminate having to block them longer. And to take deep shots that don't work very well because you ain't going to have time like Tennessee didn't have time. And if you're going to try to run like a true pro-style offense, you better have pro quarterbacks and pro receivers like Ohio State has. But if you ain't got that, you're not going to be able to do nothing with that either. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of screens and quick passes, kind of what we've seen in the spring game. But, more in depth in the season,
think we're
obviously.
going to take the top off of them?
That'll be. I just feel like the bread and butter is going to be quick routes and screen passes, and then soften them up.
Anything will be better than what we've seen the past few years. I mean, by God, that's about the worst offense I've seen in my entire life these past couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Well, I tend to think it's going to evolve probably throughout the season. When he says this is going to be Georgia Tech's offense, to me, and they've actually said this too, this is going to be an offense that fits the skill set of the players that we have on our offense. So yeah, you could very well be right. It's going to be very spread like with quick slant, flat, curl flat concepts, levels concepts, but that also works inside out into opening up the downfield threat.
That's right.
Got people like Christian Leary. Once you get linebackers and defensive backs on their toes, ready to jump a slant route, all of a sudden you can hit a slant and go. You can hit a hitch and go, or just go a straight 9 vertical on them. I think that could be exciting.
Oh yeah, I do too. I just feel like Brent Key, when he was looking for the offense, he was looking at saying, what gives us the best chance to move the ball on Georgia? And that's what he wants to get really good at. And if you have teams that you can be more physical in, it's easy to convert back to a heavy run. Or if you have teams that you can keep the pressure off your quarterback, you can easily go down the field. But something you get really good at, like quick passes and screens and bubble routes and stuff like that, I feel like that's going to be something he's going to focus on.
Yeah, and don't sleep on the running game. Like another guy, I think I even said it in my running back preview. One of the guys I'm most interested in watching this season is Dante Smith. I think Dante Smith is a really talented running back. He's a little smaller than Travion Cooley, but a lot of speed. A guy that you get in space can make good things happen. I think our running game will be better this year, as well.
Oh yeah, I've heard Michael Haynes' name. I mean Jamal Haynes' name a lot too.
Yeah, he's only been running back for a few weeks.
That's right. That's right. And Brent Key said yesterday that Jamie Phillips stood out, which he was last year seeing all the running backs. He was kind of like the one I thought would be the next good one, in my opinion. I mean, I like Dante Smith, but I think Jamie Phillips has more upside.
Time out real quick. PR Sports, your father, Rec Talk, has not told you it's okay to comment in the live chat yet. I didn't want to
dedicate any more freaking airtime to that, so I was responding to him in the comments. But you can't just
that's fine.
You can't just freaking come on and say all that stuff and then not freaking bet it. I mean, you just can't do that. Have you not seen any of the live shows around the community? You got to be able to freaking back up what you're saying.
All I know is if someone was saying they were my daddy and I was convinced I could win money from them, I would do that. This guy doesn't. So until he does, everyone can agree that I'm your father, and I will be until you hit that PayPal link.
I second that. Go
ahead.
Back to relevant stuff there.
That was all I really was going to say. I'll step out and let y'all keep going.
Okay, yeah, we got a couple other people back here. So.
All right, good talking with y'all.
Yeah, it was good talking to you, man.
All right, bud.
See you around. All right, so let's put.
Or call in, PR. I bet you won't do that either. But
let's put the no trust screen up. How about that?
Oh Jesus.
Okay, go Auburn 10. Hello. Oh, yep. Okay. Oh man, that was porn. All right. Well,
Troll Zero, Reckon Sea Dog, what, like 1,000 by now?
There was another. That's the first time I've been P-bombed, except I put the no trust screen up. So, what an L. What an L. There was another person in here, but they're gone now, I guess. So we'll bring back in Slim Shady. What's up?
All right, Slim. Remind me, we had just gone through injuries and then quarterbacks, being on your third string quarterback, right?
Well, I mean, that kind of falls right under the injury conversation, but.
Right. And then I was making the point that, hey, taking over for Jeff Collins, I don't know if anyone's taking over a more poorly coached team. It was Brazilian fart fetish porn.
It was actually like normal, like just male on female porn. Actually, not not bad.
He's actually still has it up. I don't know why he won't take that guy off. But
I was thinking it'd be something horrifying, like doo-doo freaking everywhere and freaking
Edward-esque.
Oh yeah, but no, it was actually pretty tame. So.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was kind of overweight and gross. But.
Yeah, appreciate that. But look, our point is, when you look at everything Brent Key had going against him, and the fact that he was still able to go 5-7, it seems to us, and like we didn't lose enough roster wise or anything else.
I think our roster is better.
We didn't lose any coaches, and our coaching staff is better too. We upgraded in several positions on our coaching staff. There's just no way we're going to be 5-7. It's just not happening. Just not happening.
Well, I mean, yes, there's many ways it can happen. For starters, I think you're actually worse at the quarterback position this year
because we don't have Sims.
You lost Jeff Sims, but for some reason Haynes King is the savior. I'm not. I haven't seen anything out of
Haynes. Neither of us think that Haynes King is going to start.
Okay.
Is Zach Pyron a good young quarterback?
Sorry about that. I got a call. What did you say?
Neither of us think Haynes King is going to start.
Okay, but you don't know that. And as of right now, as far as talent prospects, Haynes King is the best quarterback you have on your
All right,
roster.
here's my thing with the quarterback position. Jeff Sims, you're calling Jeff Sims this, so you're saying we lose Jeff Sims and we're going to be worse off without him, right?
I mean, I thought Jeff Sims was good.
Because he was
but no,
good.
what I'm saying is Haynes King is worse than Jeff Sims.
Do you realize why Jeff Sims was good? And he was good because we brought in Chris Winkie to coach him. You should be familiar with Chris Winkie. He was the quarterback of your favorite team for a while there.
I know who Chris Winkie is. He's the oldest Heisman Trophy winner ever.
That's right. So Chris Winkie came in and coached Jeff Sims because remember, Jeff Sims' first 2 years, he was a turnover machine. It was horrible. He was absolutely a horrible quarterback. He turned the ball over more times than he completed than he had touchdowns. So he was awful. Chris Winkie comes in one offseason and fixes that. And so that is proof of concept. That's the only thing that changed from the year that he was the 2 years he was terrible to the year that he was good.
I'm not saying Chris Winkie's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimbo has a more proven track record with quarterbacks, whether you like it or not.
We're not talking about Haynes King, though. We're talking about Zach Pyron.
Okay, but my point is, well, yes, I was talking about Haynes King. I think Zach Pyron's even worse.
I don't understand how you could think. Well, Zach Pyron was a true freshman. They had to pull him off the scout team. And if you saw him play and how good he was, and he went on the road to win at Virginia Tech, I know Virginia Tech's horrible, but he was never supposed to play. He was never supposed to see the field. They pulled him off the scout team. So don't you think if Jeff Sims can get better in one offseason, don't you think that Zach Pyron and Haynes King possibly coached under Chris Winkie, if he can get Jeff Sims to be that good, don't you think those two have the potential to as well? I mean, Jimbo Fisher has a good record with quarterbacks. He also has a record of squandering every freaking amount of talent that comes through his school.
Well, yes, but you talk about knowing what's going on with the program. I mean, if you're going to talk about what's going on with Jimbo Fisher, know what's going on. He's running an antiquated offense at this point. That's the problem.
Well, so Jeff Sims threw for 30 touchdowns
we're not
and 23 interceptions at Georgia Tech. So it's not like I think he's good. I think he was held back at Tech, but it's not like we're losing some massive amount of production in Jeff Sims.
Yes, but what do we have to look at? What they produced on the field. And in my opinion, what I saw on the field, Jeff Sims has more production on the field than Haynes King.
His touchdown to interception ratio is way better. I mean, let me look at Zach Pyron's stats.
The Pete household is going to take such an L to Sea-Dog. Okay? Mrs. Pete is in here talking about how we're not going to make a bowl. That whole household is going to be taking an L to me.
And speaking of points that, do matter whether Rec Talk likes them or not, there's lots of teams that get a boost when a coach gets fired. That's just a fact of
football. So let me ask you this. Is there anything Brent Key could have done other than winning every game by 100 points last year that would make you say
but saying that he is automatically going to do just as good next year is foolish.
No, you're foolish for saying that. I mean, he had everything go wrong last year that could have gone wrong, and he still, won 4 games as interim. I mean, you might think that that's just because, we have an interim coach now, and we have no clue who's going to be our head coach. Let's play our asses off for this guy. In your Miami head world, that might make sense, but it doesn't to anyone else.
Damn. God
then why do you see it happen all over the place?
That is brutal. Miss Pete says she takes it out every day because she's married to Pete. Damn.
Oh.
Then why do you see it happen team after team, year after year? That's the one thing you can't get away from, Rick.
What? Oh, who name some examples of this?
Nebraska last season is another example of it happening in the very same season.
And now they have Matt Rule.
Well, they didn't go with the interim coach like Georgia
But
Tech
you keep
did.
talking out of both sides of your mouth. Either you credit Key for what he did as interim, or you don't. So what is it with you?
I don't credit anybody what they do as interim.
There you go. That's exactly what I was saying.
So I mean,
And
it's
I
not
don't
a
subscribe
it's not a
to
Brent Key thing. I just don't credit anybody for
Well,
it.
no, I don't think that you just hate Brent Key at all. I don't think that.
Now that's actually my biggest point of contention with what y'all brought up tonight. I think there are several better options than Brent Key that they could have hired. And I think Sea-Dog hit it right on the head. You know, the first person I would have called was the East Carolina coach.
East Carolina. You mean Coastal?
Oh, yeah, Coastal Carolina.
You're talking about Jimmy Chadwell,
That's
right?
who we
Well,
called.
both said.
That's who we called. And
yeah, well, I'm agreeing with that point that they should have. I think they should have called. I think they should have called Wake Forest head coach.
I agree there. That is.
We
one
both
coach
agree with you there.
I would way rather have than. I hate to say it. I love Brent Key, but I would. I mean, Dave Clawson is an incredible coach.
I'm surprised no one hired Dave Clawson last year. Not just set us.
All we talk about on the
Right.
ACC shows how shocked we are that he's still there. I mean, he is a He is a hidden gem. I don't know.
Now,
why.
This is just a general rule of mine. I have absolutely zero faith and do not want a first-time head coach at my program.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something we may just disagree on fundamentally.
Yeah.
And like I said, until something is proven, I'm not going to have any faith in a first-time head coach.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already shown proof of concept throughout.
Well, no, he said that he doesn't give interim coaches credit for anything.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why, because I mean,
Brent Key thing, that's any head coach.
I get it that there's a boost, but it's not like that, man. I mean, Brent Key had to, the way that he attacked it, he had to absolutely fix. He just had to fix so much stuff. It's not like, yes, we had talented players, yes, and it's not like it's not. I mean, we're not talking about winning the ACC here. We're talking about going to a bowl.
Well, and I understand that, but I also think y'all are focusing on the positives and trying your best to ignore the negatives
everything that was out of his control.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Okay, go ahead. Such as, and I'll give you credit. Okay, you knocked off a couple of ranked teams. You also lost to the worst Miami team in 20 years by a lot.
We understand.
Okay.
And a lot of the
I
get it. A lot of the issues that Jeff Collins had were self-inflicted. You can't help a quarterback going down. You can't help.
No, you can't.
You can. You can.
I'm agreeing with you. You can't help that.
So, a lot of the reasons where we saw, Brent Key struggle was things out of his control. All we saw was Brent Key do the absolute best with what he was given, and he didn't just give up. You say, we came into this season with absolutely no depth at quarterback. There was no other option other than Jeff Sims, and you can go back. I was so down on our team. I picked us to go 4-8 last offseason, and I said this going into the season. If we don't have Jeff Sims at quarterback, we have no quarterback, and it was true. We had absolutely none. Okay, and he goes down. That's where most interim coaches would fail. I mean that's just what it is. Brent Key managed it in such a way that he pulled the freaking quarterback off the scout. Okay, he puts in Zach Gibson. Well, Zach Gibson turns out to be the worst quarterback you've ever seen. Well, okay, he puts in no offense to Zach Gibson. He actually did improve towards the end of the season, but he goes through the roster and finds the quarterback that can perform the way we need him to, and he doesn't until he breaks his freaking clavicle. And still, even after that, gets Zach Gibson off the third string, which has already proven that he couldn't.
Listen,
and still
Sea-Dog,
goes up there.
You're trying to make it sound like this miraculous thing, like he.
It was.
It was.
It was.
Some guy off the street. He did. Hang on. He did the same thing every other head coach does. He went down through his roster and, okay, this guy's next up. Oh, he's playing like crap. Next guy up.
Well, you say that. Well,
this guy's
a
playing
lot of
like
coaches-
crap,
a
or
lot
this
of-
guy
The
got
previous
hurt.
coach
a lot of
didn't do
next guy
that.
up.
A lot of coaches don't do that. A lot of coaches don't do that. Okay.
Okay, so that's a very low bar then, is what I'm saying.
He had to
That's
raise
basic
that low
things a head
bar
coach
mid-season.
It's not just that. It's he's got to do all this on the fly. He's got to do all this, and he's
Okay.
preparing to play a team, and he's having to do all this at once.
Slim, you said you saw the Virginia game, right? Or you watched some of it? Did you see Zach
Yeah, I
Gibson
was
play in
flipping
that
between
game?
a couple of games.
Did you
Yeah,
see
I
Zach
was
Gibson
flipping
run
between
it
a couple
out of
games all the
bounds
time.
for the last play of the game?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see the North Carolina game?
That I did not know.
What a more
right, we won that game.
pertinent question I think to Slim would be is, did you see how absolutely abysmal we were before Brent Key took over? The
That's
difference
true.
the difference is night and day. It's night
Oh.
and day.
My ex-wife
We're-
bought me a cupcake, by the way.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna be
great.
eating that.
You're eating it the wrong way, bro. You gotta tear the freaking bottom off and put it on top like a sandwich. You tear the bottom off and then you put it on top, and then it's like a little sandwich. It's the
This is not a sandwich. It's a cupcake.
It's the optimal way to eat a cupcake. I don't know what to tell you.
Slim, can you weigh in on that?
I'm gonna be honest. I just eat a damn cupcake.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to enjoy a cupcake. But anyway, Slim, we got a couple guys. We got a couple guys in the back here that want to run their mouth too. So I think that.
All right, y'all go ahead.
I think that. Thank you for coming on, and being a guest. It was great.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Slim. I mean,
Sure,
you're wrong, but I
anytime.
love you.
All right, man.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a couple guests here that I'm honestly a little weary, but
You got a no trust screen?
I do. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up.
Yeah.
Let me set this up real quick. Go ahead and say what you got to say. Filibuster a little bit for a minute.
Oh, yeah. I have. This is the thing that irritates me the most. Is like the point I was making is you look at Zach Gibson against Virginia, and then beating the Coastal champ on the road. Is that an interim bump that got him there, or is it coaching? I just don't think you can discredit that. By the way, B-Bean, you're welcome. I did want to share. I share my life with you guys.
All right, now I'm going to bring in PR Sports. What is up, PR Sports? Oh, nice try. Nice try. Man, from
Still smaller than mine.
Okay.
That's the funny thing about that.
Damn. Okay, I cut the audio off for a reason there. It was porn. It was porn.
We all knew what that was going to be.
Yeah. And it was a freaking dick this time, too.
It
was somebody who was freaking masquerading as PR Sports. Well, it might have been PR Sports for all I know.
Yeah.
But I put the no.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't. That
Yeah, I
wasn't
do
wrong,
too. I mean, there's a difference between being not knowing what you're talking about and pee bombing. But the trolls are out in full force tonight, but they haven't yet to conquer Sea Dog or Rec Talk. So just overall L for the trolls, L for the Pete household, L for Slim, and.
That's right. Just as we're owning trolls tonight on this show, so will Georgia Tech own their schedule next season.
That's right.
And make it at least a bowl. Yeah, do you think this is because I own part of Edward's channel now that I'm like a target?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I've never been P-bombed before. I've never had anybody ever show up and try to do it. Obviously, whoever's doing this is elementary.
That's right.
Because they were not able to get through. So.
Well, Mrs. Pete and Inch can make a difference. That's what I've been told. Anyway.
It feels a lot bigger than it looks.
That's a good line. That's a good pickup line. Just lead off with that, and you're sure to have success.
That was for irritating me. Are you admitting that it was you, PR Sports? Are you fucking serious, dude? Get the fuck out of here, man. You're done.
Oh, you're banned.
Get the
if
fuck out
that
of here. You
was
don't fucking do that. Okay, now we see the type of person we're dealing with. That's why I try.
These are the stupidest trolls.
That's
Like
why
one of them, yeah.
That's why I try not to give them the light of day, because we just sat there and entertained this fucking guy the whole show. So
Yeah.
it turns out to be a Pete bomber. I mean, okay.
He might have been the other one too. Then that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
What a piece of garbage, dude.
He's got a channel too. I see.
Let me see.
Okay.
I might make a little project of this.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
Well, I'm more petty than you.
Anyway, I think that's a good. I think that's a good spot to call it. We're getting here at 10 o'clock.
What? Like, that's the dumbest. So, like, you get your thing off, and then you admit it's you.
Yeah.
Is he a Georgia fan?
I don't know.
It sounds like it.
We have one more person here. You want to bring him on?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a different.
Dude, put
right.
your
I know.
Put your screen up.
All right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, Josh Williams, how's it going?
Oh, this is a troll.
Is it? Oh, it sure is. Okay.
Yeah, he used the same name that he used when he was trolling.
All right, it was porn.
It was porn again. It was another penis. It was another penis.
You keep losing because it's not like I mean, I'm putting my no trust screen up. Like nobody saw your pee-pee. Okay. But
And it was the same penis, I think. I would know. I cataloged this. That was the same
I guess
penis.
people know. I guess people know who Josh Williams is. All right, Kevin, stop sending out the link to all the poor bombers.
I'm glad you're hosting tonight, by the way.
Well, I mean, they haven't got through, so I've never had that happen before. So that I guess I've made it. But
You've arrived.
I guess so. So that was fun.
PR is back on another account. Go ahead and get rid of that one too.
He says he isn't pee bombing. Well, why'd you say you were? Anyway, we're in.
Unless he was saying that's what you get for being mean to him, but he didn't do it. I don't really care.
I don't know.
This is not a PP channel, dadgummit.
Quit trying to show your pee-pees, people. Quit trying to. Oh boy, we got somebody in the back room. Oh, I wonder who it is. Yeah, we're done for the night.
Yeah. All right.
All right. That was a good show.
Yeah.
It was PP free. And
for a good while.
It was PP.
Well, for the audience,
for the audience,
not for us.
Yeah, the audience didn't have to see any PPs. I had to see a couple. Rec Talk saw a couple.
I did.
But other than that, it was a good show. So
that was a good show. I do like having back and forth. Be like, just because I disagree with people, I don't mean I don't like them or something. Like, I think those are the more fun shows when like you're going back and forth. With people,
arguing is a lot of fun. That's why I brought Slim on. I knew it would take a while too, so that's why I kind of cycled through the callers and everything too. So, but
yeah.
Anyway, I thanks everybody for watching. It was a great show. We're drawing ever closer to the off season, or to the season, and it's so close that you can smell it. Either that or the seafood Mardi Gras. Whatever.
I might. I tell you what, if we beat Louisville, I'm getting the seafood Mardi Gras. I'm going for it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for watching. Rack Talk, you got anything you want to say before we go? Anything to promote or anything?
Yeah, this coming up week, we're going to finish the previews with the quarterback room, and the wide receiver room. Those are the only ones I haven't done yet. And then we'll do a Louisville preview. And I think what I'm going to do for this season is like the preview of every game, maybe having some kind of skit. I have some more room here associated with it. So it should be fun. Be looking out for those.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you for coming. Go Jackets, and we'll see y'all next time. And